Welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Hannah. I'm an IFBB pro female bodybuilder, and on this channel we talk about all things PEDs, bodybuilding, and without filters. So if you're interested in that, stick around. Today I'm going to be doing my second Q&A. I am still working on some longer form videos. Those kudos to the people that can like turn those things out, like the professional YouTubers. I don't know how y'all do it. These videos are a lot harder than they look. But also I have an idea that I wanted to run by you guys to see if it's dumb or not. So stick around at the end of the video for that, because I would really like your feedback on that. So yeah, here we go. Let's get into the questions. And one of the questions that I get asked quite a lot is, why do I think most people lie about being on steroids or PEDs? And of course, I'm not going to have all the answers because I don't know everybody that lies about it, but I can take some pretty good guesses as to why. One of them being that if they're sponsored in any way, usually by supplement companies or the like, the contracts usually state that you can't admit to being on anything illegal, and that includes like anything. But steroids and PEDs are illegal. And so that is a good incentive for an athlete to omit, maybe not just lie, but definitely omit being on anything steroid related, because you'll lose money over it. And a lot of, fitness influencers and things like that, a lot of their, and myself included, I used to be sponsored. We make a lot of our money off of sponsorships. And so, of course, you don't want to sit there and be like, oh, yeah, I run this, if it means, you're no longer going to be sponsored. And then it can affect future sponsors if, you're known as somebody that's admitting to being on illegal substances. So that's one. Another one would be that we're already very much judged in the bodybuilding space. And that's for men and women. I see it all the time online. Just go to any comment section of any bodybuilder and just, read the comments. And we get judged pretty freaking harshly. And so on top of that already being judged, why would we then go admit to open it up to more scrutiny? Why would we do that, especially if that's going to cost us money and it's not going to do anything for our careers, and we still want to keep bodybuilding. So it's like, you have this perfect storm on social media of people just not being honest. But let's say they're not sponsored and they just are an athlete or a bodybuilder or whatever, and they're training. I mean, really, why would you want to admit to it? And even aside from the obvious, right? Like, say you have somebody that it's obvious they are on steroids, but still, why would somebody want to admit that they are and talk about it if it's not going to do anything for them? And I'm not saying that makes it right, but I'm just saying, like, from that perspective, I can kind of understand it. Like, oh, you're opening yourself up to more ridicule than you're probably already dealing with. It's could possibly hurt your career in the future in any type of sponsor that you could potentially work with in the future. Really not a lot of positive that comes from admitting steroid use on an individual level, right? So it could benefit people getting into the sport, because if they think, oh, this person natural, or and in them admitting what they're on or how much they're on or what have you, could paint a more realistic picture for somebody possibly getting into it. There's good there, but on a very personal level, there's not a lot of good. And I don't know if that makes sense or not, but that's just my guess, right? So that's question number one. Number two, why do some people deny the side effects of PEDs? And I got a lot of people giving their personal stories of like friends and things like that, of that they've noticed some people in denial about having side effects. If you asked him, he would have no issues at all starting a couple months after he started them. His face was so you guys sent in a lot of stories to me personally of knowing people that were in denial about side effects. And with that, and again, myself included in this because I was one of those people, is one, sometimes you really can't see it. So like for me, when I started experiencing like the voice change, right? So I felt like I needed to clear my throat all the time, but I didn't hear my voice sounding different in my head. And still to this day, I still kind of sound, to me in my head, I still sound very similar to my original voice. And it wasn't until people started asking about it, and then I heard myself on a recording, and I was like, oh shit. And so I couldn't actually hear it. It just felt different. And then also, like for somebody like who's making a career out of it, let's say that they're a fitness influencer. Well, if you've built a brand off of the way you look, of course you're going to be in denial about, the things you're doing to maintain that. You're not going to want to stop. You might not know how to stop. It's kind of like being allergic to a food that you really really like, right? Like you don't want to stop eating it. It's your favorite food in the world, but you're having all these signs and symptoms that you're allergic to it, and you don't want to admit it because you don't want to stop eating it. I would kind of think it's the same thing, you know. That's kind of what it felt like to me. I mean, obviously, you know, it's not eating food, but I didn't want to admit that something that I was so sure was the only thing that would get me to my goal, which was being a pro. Um, I did not truly believe I could do that by myself. I did not believe, and I still don't. I still don't believe that I could have turned pro being natural at all. No, there's no freaking way. I'll probably put a disclaimer or something, so you guys know what you're walking into on this one. Okay, and the last question I'm going to answer, and this is because I've gotten this so often, and from men and women alike, and a lot of you asked it very respectfully. That's another thing, just so you know. Um, it doesn't matter if your question might seem a little too personal or offensive. As long as you ask it in a respectful way, I will answer you. If you're disrespectful, you will be called a silly goose and I will not answer you. But as long as it's asked in a respectful way, I have no problem with any type of personal questions, you guys. I'm an open book. But I'm going to answer this one because I've gotten it so often, is about the clitoris. Okay, when you take steroids, it gets bigger. And I covered that in another video. But people wanted to know how fast does it occur? How much bigger does it get? And is it more sensitive? How fast? It depends on what I would guess depends on what you're taking. Because as far as I know, everyone responds differently. What happened to me was it was very fast. It was probably within 4 months that I noticed it getting bigger. But also, I made another video. I was also on a lot of steroids. And so it got it got pretty big pretty fast. The actual size, I'm not gonna tell you the actual size, but it's larger than average. Okay, so if we're going based off of like what I originally had, I did not have very much. I literally looked like a Barbie. There was nothing there. I mean, it was hard for me to find it. It was hard for other people to find it. Let's just say that there was not a lot going on. But now it's very easy for anybody to find. Just use your imagination, I guess. But yeah, as far as like how much bigger it gets, it depends on what you take. I'm guessing your response to whatever it is you're taking, the amount that you're taking, and the duration that you're taking. Because I've seen all different sizes. So that very much is person dependent and dose dependent and compound dependent. The sensitivity for me personally and for every female that I've talked to is very significant. It's the difference between, but I'd never gotten to the finish line, so to speak, with a partner before taking steroids, and then afterwards, no problem at all. But that's all for the questions today. I'm probably going to be sprinkling these Q&As in here and there as we go to kind of break up the bigger or like the longer videos. But my idea for could be good, could be bad. I've gotten so many of you guys messaging me about like personal experiences with coaches and like things with PEDs, but not wanting to publicly, announce these stories or talk about it or name names or anything like that, which I totally understand. So I was thinking about opening up an anonymous email that you guys could email me at, or however I'm going to do that. I don't know if there's like an app or something that I can have for you guys to completely anonymously email me in these stories that you guys have, and then I can read them on my channel, kind of like a story time thing. If anyone would be interested in that or think it would be a good idea, let me know. I would never say names. I would never put your information out there. But I think that it could be good for people that want to get their story out there and have an audience see it, but without having to, put themselves out there, I guess. So let me know if you guys think that would be a good idea, if you would be interested in it, if you would be interested in either listening or sending in a story. Like I said, I would never disclose who it's from. So yeah, let me know, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Also, how do you guys like my new setup? Is it distracting? Is it cool? What do you think? I kind of feel like an actual YouTuber now. Like, I think it's kind of cool. But let me know in the comments. I'm sure you will.